Hello, welcome to a ramble. I haven't made a video in a while. I don't know exactly why that is. Maybe because I felt I had better things to do with my time. However, I felt compelled to make a video today, and the reason I decided to make this video is because I was thinking on a particular topic. It had to do with friendships. Um, and if I were to think about an INFJ, for example, I think I've made videos on this before, but maybe this video will be different because I have a different angle to um, talk about that I currently have access to. Um, So yeah, for some reason, the topic friendship entered my field of consciousness, and anytime that happens, I have a tendency to go into analysis mode because I feel like the topic has presented itself to me for further exploration. So I asked myself three questions, and I also asked a couple of friends these same questions. And the first question was, do lifelong friendships exist? The second question was, are they common? And the third question was, or are friendships seasonal in general? Like, do friendships come in seasons and waves? And I don't know, I think if you're an INFJ, you have a tendency to spend a lot of time in solitude and isolation. I think it's because we are hypersensitive. I think we are hypersensitive because we had a traumatic childhood that has left an impression on the way we interact on a social basis. Um, I think, I mean, I could go into detail, but I won't. But I really do think that when you are born, up until you're about 3, you are gathering information from your environment, from your caretakers, from, you know, just everything around you. And you're creating a operating program that you will carry on into adulthood. That's basically what's happening. In fact, I think human beings, I have a tendency to compare us to technology. And one of my friends made a statement about it, which was pretty profound to me. And he said, we are technology, we are organic technology. And I, I believe there is some truth to that because if you think about it, we have all these different personalities on the planet, all these different operating systems, programs. Some of us have updated our system, some of us have not. And those elements are actually essential to making connections with other people and maintaining them, you know? So if it's hard too, so like I feel like um, if you have a particular operating system and nobody else has downloaded that operating system yet, then you know your chances of finding people that you connect with is probably going to be less likely. In the opposing regard, maybe we need to upgrade our system. Maybe we need to upgrade it so that we can connect with people more often. You know, I'm not saying to change yourself, but it's just, you know, I think a part of the growing process or the evolutionary process is to think upon things that are no longer working for you and what you can or cannot do about it. I mean, there's some things that I've accepted within myself that I just I'm not good at. I could probably practice at mastering that particular skill or trade, but it's just dependent on how important it is to me. Like, if it's not too important and it doesn't pique my interest, then I probably will not pursue or practice to master that particular skill or trade. And in that case, that's why you have all the other people in the world. They can make up for areas that you lack in, and vice versa. And that's what's so beautiful about the contrast and having so many different types of personalities in the world that make up our current society. You know, um, I think I've headed off the subject, kind of, sort of, but yeah. So I think like it's hard for us, or it seems like it's hard for us to find long-lasting connections because there aren't many people who have the same operating system as us, and that's just the bottom line, you know. And that's okay. I mean, the whole thing is being okay with it instead of constantly being at war with yourself, or being at war with the reality of things, or being at war with the way things are unfolding. We have no control over a lot of the things outside of ourselves. I mean, to some degree, I think the external world is a projection of our internal atmosphere. But yeah, I feel like to some degree you can create your reality. However, you know, there's a process to that, and you can't force the process, and you can't impose your expectations on that process, and you just need to kind of go with it. I've kind of come to the conclusion that, you know, not everybody is on the same operating system as me. And when it comes to connections, think about an outlet and how you need like a female outlet and a male plug to plug in. So if you have two female outlets, obviously nothing's going to connect. If you have two male plugs, they're not going to connect. You need personality types or operating systems that are able to make the connection. And, you know, I know like there are times where I do encounter people that I am highly interested in, and the friendship doesn't extend beyond a moment, and I I think you just have to be okay with that. If not, you just start disappointing yourself because of preconceived expectations on how something should have been, or how you or the other person could have been, and that's not the reality of the situation. um yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, I'm sure I have a lot more that I could talk about. I don't think it's necessary. But yeah, I think it has a lot to do with our upbringing, the program we've downloaded and adopted. Yes, it can be shifted, but I think the only way to make shifts is to spend time in deep analysis and ask yourself questions. Like, I feel like reflecting on the things that seem to be going wrong. And what I mean by going wrong is they're not in alignment. And you know that something is not in alignment because it doesn't feel well. And it doesn't feel well because your soul is rejecting that current circumstance or reality or experience, and it's trying to redirect you in another way. So, like I said, if you feel something that is heavy or dense within you, it doesn't feel quite right, I feel like that is your opportunity to ask really important questions, to really self analyze so that you can upgrade your program, discard some programs. What else? Just kind of like move forward and release, update. Just update yourself, update your program, and release the stuff that no longer is valid or no longer works. Um, and again, going back to meeting people who you obviously are interested in, and the connection fizzling out very quickly. Rejection is redirection. I also think about my life and how many like friends I've changed over the years, and I think that's a part of seasonal friendships, and I think INFJs have a tendency to grow beyond most things fairly quickly, like I think quicker more so than other personality types. And so because we're constantly growing, everything else around us shifts. So nothing really stays stagnant or stays in place too long in our realities, if you think about it. I mean, I don't know if you can relate to it or not, but I just wanted to put the information out there. That's all. I hope you're doing well during this time, and I hope that you are full of peace and calmness and clarity during these very interesting times that we are living in. All right, blessings to one and all. Amen.